Welcome to Work Reborn, live from Barcelona, brought to you by Lenovo. Work Reborn is a research series surveying over 600 senior IT leaders worldwide to uncover the key to creating a productive digital workplace. Last report, we talked about using AI to work smarter and stay safer. Now we're moving from AI readiness to AI reality, where technology and human connection are reshaping how we work and thrive in this new era of work, or as we like to call it, Work Reborn. Let's get started. Suresh, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a great conference here in Spain, Barcelona. It's my first visit to Spain, so I'm pretty excited.
Visit. Listen, the weather here has been so great. It's been such a nice atmosphere in Barcelona. Have you eaten anything yummy or delicious yet? Any Spanish food?
I had a very great breakfast today morning
Ooh.
in combination to few snacks and nice lunch today afternoon. So it's a good food. I must say that healthy, nutritious
Yes.
protein for a health freak like me who is into fitness. I have a lot of protein
They have
that
a
is
lot
helping
of
me.
nice options, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we wanted to bring you on the show because since you're at this event, you're an IT leader or a tech leader. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about you and what you do in your organization. Would you mind introducing yourself?
I work for HCL Technologies. I'm responsible for driving solutions to my customers and the telecom, media and technology unit for Continental Europe. A few strategic accounts is what I operate, and then I believe in solving customer problems. So that's what I do for living.
That's a great thing to do, solving customer problems. I don't think businesses would exist if we weren't able to do that, right?
Yes.
Well, before we get into the meat of this conversation, before we started our episode together, I talked to you very briefly about how Lenovo is going to be and currently is a tech partner and with FIFA. And the World Cup is watched by millions and adored by many. And it's a very large operation that behind the scenes actually requires a lot of technology. And, I thought we would start with a fun icebreaker question to kind of get the theme started. So, if your IT workforce were a football team, what position would AI play? Goalkeeper, striker, or coach?
I would go for a coach. I've started using AI to coach me in many ways. So I would vote for a coach.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think I love the idea of a great coach on a football team is one that can help guide, help kind of be the glue for the team, right? And in football, there's many players. How have you used AI in your organization? And if you have an example to help be that coach within the organization?
We started infusing AI at all levels possible. While Gen AI is something new, AI has always been there in its form and shape, starting from the entry level to then execution level to the customer management layer. We try to infuse AI wherever possible, starting with the small techniques as natural language processing, which has been there for a decade, that is taking more and more again. Even in our customer interactions, we are trying to minimize the human in the loop and standardize the process. That's the AI layer, which is adding humongous value and also helping our engineers to move out of the repetitive task and then get into more value-added work, which they use their thoughtful efforts for more passionate work, which they enjoy, contributing back to the better customer experience.
I think part of providing an experience, even internally for your employees, part of that importance of that experience is also making it easy for them to access the softwares and the tools that they need to do so. And actually, from our research, we found an interesting statistic. Enterprises are managing about 897 applications across multiple clouds right now, yet only 28% are integrated. So where do you see the biggest opportunity to reduce fragmentation in the digital workspace? And what's actually worked to create more connected systems for you?
Yeah, two ways we can cut the cake and solve this problem, which my organization, HCLTech, has done it. With this 897 applications, where they're pretty fragmented, they don't talk to each other very nice. All the power of AI is gone. There's no point in driving a Ferrari on a bumpy road. You will not utilize
Yes.
everything very efficiently. To solve these problems, there are two ways that you can attack. The legacy applications that you're sitting in, it needs to be modernized. That's when they talk to each other in an efficient way and then get the best out of AI. Very important aspect is the underlying data that needs to be harmonized. If your data is not in an efficient fashion, then no tool, you might bring best of the best AI tool, it will not yield results. So summing up, modernize the legacy applications so that applications integrate very well underneath the data. That's very important. Finally, while you might have the technology, while you have the data right, the human aspect of it, on how your team, your staff is efficient to learn the AI and then start using it and evangelize it, creates an impact. There's no point in deploying the best solutions and using the legacy spreadsheet and putting onto the tool. That doesn't work.
I think you make a great point that the fact that we're even using the word legacy in IT now shows me that things really are changing, right? And since you have been, I assume you've been in this industry for a while, right? And as these operations have become more automated, CIOs and CTOs everywhere are really redefining what success actually looks like for their teams now. So, how are you rethinking performance metrics in this new era? And what matters more now than it did a year ago?
I'll have to compare this with my primitive days. Those were the days where I've been a nascent engineer, where we used to present to the business on whether our technical SLAs were met or slash application SLAs were met, where we used to present everything green, but business was never happy. That paradigm is changing with the advent of AI and then UI. The measurements are more OKR driven, which are business outcomes. As simple as stop measuring on how the systems are behaving in terms of performance and start measuring how are you enhancing the supply chain of the customer, what is your contribution to the efficient supply chain, efficient financial closure, efficient lead to opportunity to sales generation in the sales cycle. Those are the metrics that industry is walking towards, and I'm very sure all the CIOs are moving in that direction. The traditional way of measuring SLAs and KPIs is gone.
What advice would you give to a CIO or CTO who's been in this industry for a long time and is really trying to navigate these new changes and shifts in the market?
So now this is a AI world, AI generation. I will confine my answer to the world of AI. All the CIOs, there's a lot of information overload. The CIOs and CTOs or CFOs have started thinking that the dependency of the humans will go down. And I was inspired with the keynote today. The dependency on the humans will continue. It's just the shift that the leadership have to think on training and retraining and bringing the humans to the level where they adopt AI is the key important factor along with inception of AI. While you induce your tools and processes which can work on AI, it's imperative that you have to bring your skills in the organizations to match up.
Right.
Otherwise, it would not work. As
Right.
simple as Ferrari can't run on a bumpy road. You might have the fastest running AI tool, and if your teams are not efficient, it would not work.
I also think with the Ferrari analogy, maybe the Ferrari is in a racetrack, but the driver has never driven a Ferrari before. That's like giving an employee the tools, but not empowering them or upskilling them in order to use them well as well. I think that's the flip side of that conversation too.
Absolutely. Today, if you have seen the keynote, we are talking a lot about redundancy and the workforce getting reduced. But the Gartner has come up with a great analysis. The redundancy or the layoffs that are happening in the industry, only AI contributes only the 1% of it. But as leaders, we have to be more hopeful, where Gartner has done an analysis saying that there would be a demographic decline, which means that you don't have the talent pool which is ready to serve the future needs. It's imperative for the leaders to look at their existing staff in the organization and start training the future. Otherwise, they'll get into the deep problems and they will lose the competitive edge.
When it comes to digital transformation within your own organization, Where are you at in your journey now, and what are your plans for the future?
It's been a journey for us.
Yeah.
By the time we felt that we have been there, and then there's something new comes in the two ways. One, technology is advancing, and the staff that we are getting in, it's getting younger and younger. Their resistance level on using a software, for example, I'm in my mid 40s, have certain patience levels to engage myself with the software. But the generation, the Gen Z and the next generation, their patience levels are less. So it's important for us to bring up that experiences. So for that, we are infusing AI, automation, touchless wherever possible by using the latest technologies. So to speak, our employee self-service systems, which used to be a plethora of 10 different fragmented applications, is brought into one single page now. So it's a seamless experience, as simple as you using a mobile app. So that's where we are getting. While the experience is good now, we are trying to infuse AI as much as possible so that that kid who is using the application have a motivation to
Continue.
use this software and stay engaged with the company and try
Yes.
to do right for our customers.
That was a great example, too, of what we were talking about earlier with the many apps. I think that was a nice use case example to share practically what one way to consider
Yeah.
that within an organization for any of the leaders listening. Well, thank you so much, Suresh, for being on the podcast. It's really been a pleasure. If anyone is interested in learning more about our Work Reborn report, make sure you download it via the link in the description below. And make sure to scan the link in the QR code above if you're watching us on YouTube. And thank you for joining us in this conversation on how we're bringing new life to the modern workplace, Suresh.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Work Reborn, powered by Lenovo. Lenovo is turning readiness into reality, empowering people, technology, and businesses to move forward together. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Apple or Spotify to continue the conversation on how we're bringing new life to the modern workplace. Thanks for watching.
Lenovo, Lenovo.